Welcome back to another episode of Peak Performers Podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about doing less in order to get more, better results. Wait a second. How do I do less and get better results? Stay tuned. I'll tell you how.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. Okay, I'm glad I have not lost you. You haven't tuned out yet. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you how to get more done, better results by actually doing less. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but listen, and I think this will all make sense to you. I see it all the time, and you see it as well. Somebody comes out of the blocks blazing down the tracks, right? They're putting out a podcast every day. They're doing a blog every day. They're doing social media every day. You see all this activity, and then all of a sudden, it's like crickets. Where'd they go? They had this huge run start, and then nothing. They lost momentum. They lost energy. And sometimes I don't blame them, right? It's difficult to do something all the time, to be consistent, especially if you're running in a bunch of different areas, right? And you do want to try some different areas. What I'm asking you to do is choose the areas that you want to do carefully. Before you commit to something, make sure you have the time, the resources, and the energy to do it for the long term. And when I say long term, I'm not talking months, I'm talking years. Yes, years. I hear all the time people come up to me and say, hey, I want to start a podcast. Would you show me how? Sure. Why do you want to start a podcast? And they'll give me their reasons. I said, okay, are you really ready to do this and put the time and the effort in that it's going to take in order to build an audience? They're like, yeah. I was like, okay, you're going to have to do this for 2 years before you see any results. And then they kind of look at me and go, 2 years? Yeah, 2 years. That's what it's going to take. The most successful podcasts that you see out there have been around for years and years. It's not about doing something for a couple weeks or months. You've got to remain consistent. Do it all the time. You know, look, it's like eating healthy, right? Can you eat healthy for a couple weeks and then expect everything to be great and then be inconsistent for a few weeks or inconsistent every weekend? No. You're just going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. Mentor of mine, I love his analogy. He said most people are on a merry-go-round, right? They're going up and down, and they're going around and around, and they end up exactly where they started, you know, a few minutes later as a merry-go-round comes around, and they just keep going around in circles. Don't let that be you. Prospecting. Prospect every single day. Or if you've got block time and you've got it a couple times a week, a week in your schedule, great, but be consistent. Don't let a week go by without prospecting. You've got to be consistent. It builds momentum. If you find yourself right now overcommitted, doing too many things, and not really spending the time and energy and effort you need in each area that's going to produce amazing results, cut some things out and start being consistent in those things that you can be, want to be, and will commit to being. Those are the areas that you want to spend your time. Eliminate those things that are just being done, quite frankly, inefficiently, ineffectively, and are just kind of distracting you. Before you commit to anything new, make sure that you ask yourself the question, am I willing to do this for the next 2 years or more? And if the answer is no, don't start it. Literally, someone today just asked me about a podcast. And I said, if you're going to do it, do not try to do 2 or 3 episodes a week. Start off and do 1 every 2 weeks. And if you can keep that up, then go to once a week. And if you can do that for a few months, then go to twice a week. ramp it up and make sure you stay consistent. But once you commit to it, if you're doing 2 times a week, you better keep it up 2 times a week. I don't know if you've ever gone to a website where someone has a blog, a written blog, and you see the dates, and they haven't done one. They used to do one like once a month or once a week. Then all of a sudden you look, and they haven't done one in a year. As soon as I see that, I'm done. I don't care who the person is. That shows me they don't have the fortitude, the consistency to stick with it. Now, is that fair? Maybe not, but that's just the way I view it. So what are your clients? What are your prospects saying about you? Are you consistent? Are you willing to do something year after year after year? If you want spectacular results, you must be a master at consistency. You must do it over and over and over and over again. It's not sexy. It's a little boring sometimes, but little things consistently done will produce extraordinary results. Thank you so much for listening today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you found today's show valuable. If you would like to receive these shows automatically to your phone or to your computer, simply go to iTunes and subscribe. After listening to several of the shows, if you're so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating, as this helps us reach additional people and spread the message. If you're truly committed to taking your life to the next level and doing whatever it takes to become a peak performer, but something's holding you back, something is blocking your way, and you just can't seem to figure out what it is, send me an email to info@thorconklin.com, and I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you. We'll schedule a 15-minute discovery call. No obligation, no cost. I absolutely love to hear from the listeners, and if there's something I can do to help, I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, if you found something of great interest in today's show and you want to share that with your friends and family, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, click on the episode, hit the share button, and share it on your page. You can follow me at Twitter at Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. We're constantly adding new free resources, discussing additional tricks, tips, tools, and strategies on how to be a peak performer. Remember, I try to keep these episodes short so you can listen to them during dot time, doing other things, commuting, driving, walking, working out. Decide to be a peak performer in all that you do. And until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.